is Maheen representing Canadian SME Small Business Magazine. I would like to extend a warm welcome to the Canadian SME podcast, which is designed specifically for small businesses in Canada. Our podcast features interviews with Canadian entrepreneurs and experts, providing valuable knowledge that can help small business owners grow their companies. Our goal is to empower Canadian small businesses and enable them to expand their reach through our platform. We would like to express our gratitude to our partners RBC, UPS, and Xero, who helped us bring this initiative to life. Mastercard recently conducted a research to better understand the current landscape of small businesses in Canada and identify trends that could impact their growth in the future. The report revealed some of the interesting trends, including a rise in digital adoption among small businesses and a growing focus on sustainability. Additionally, the data provided generational insights highlighting how different age groups approach entrepreneurship and business ownership. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking with Nishant Raina, the small business lead for Mastercard in Canada. As a product leader, Nishant develops and oversees the small business segment strategy by commercializing new products and services and supporting new product development with partners. With a strong passion for helping small businesses, Nishant drives the growth of the small business segment at Mastercard and within the entire payments ecosystem. Hi Nishant, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Very well, and thank you so much for being with us this
Thank you
morning.
for having me.
So Nishant, in today's podcast, we want to learn Mastercard's support for small businesses in Canada, including its commitment in providing resources and tools to help these businesses succeed. We know that Mastercard recently conducted their research on small businesses in Canada. Can you share with us the motivation behind this research and the key findings that were revealed?
Yeah. So like everyone knows, and I'll be the first one to say, small businesses are the backbone of our economy. And the biggest motivation around this research was to find out the new wave of small businesses. What is fueling this new paradigm shift? Paradigm shift is the right word to refer to this. And what we found throughout the research, and this was done actually at the North American level, both US and Canada, we surveyed over 4,000 small business owners. What we found was this new creator class economy really emerging over the last 2.5, 3 years. These creator class small business owners essentially are digital first entrepreneurs, sometimes have multiple sources of revenue through multiple different channels, building out their community, content, influencers. And what was interesting and not really surprising, these individuals have become pillars in their community, and they're garnering consumer decisions, and they're really influencing a lot of the decisions that individuals like me and you make on a daily basis. And one thing was, it was not surprising, but I think we've all talked about it, this real passion to do something that they're passionate about, their hobby,
Right.
something that would have started off as a side hustle, but now has become a full-time job, for example. And the shift we always laugh about this, the shift from the corporate culture. How do we get away from the typical 9 to 5? And I truly see this as becoming a paradigm shift of like individual really honing in on their craft and side hobbies, and becoming full-time small business owners.
Right. Now, based on the research, what are some of the current trends you have observed in the Canadian small business landscape? Are there any notable shifts or changes compared to previous years?
Yeah, I think, and we can give this thanks to the pandemic specifically for the creator class economy. This paradigm shift of what I just mentioned around the motivation behind the research, right? A lot of these creative business owners are really tapping into their skill sets. Their historically would have been a part-time hobby or something that started off as a side hustle and has really transitioned into. And some of the data that actually came out of the research was 78 of Canadians are looking to enter into a creative business. 38% have already made the leap and they've started this doing full time. Obviously, there's some challenges and opportunities with making that leap of faith of going full time into your side hustle or hobby, but these are some of the trends that we're seeing, and I think the wave continues, and we haven't seen a slowdown, and the metrics suggest that the creative economy is only going to grow.
Right, and
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah.
I mean, the research may have also revealed insights about different generations of small business owners in Canada.
Yeah.
Can you share any interesting generational insights that emerge from the data, and how are these insights, and how would they be impacting these small business strategies?
Yeah, and no surprise here as well. We definitely see an over index of interest in the younger generation. But what I found interesting was a blanket interest across the entire segmentation. And some of the metrics: 89% of Gen Zs very interested in starting a content creator or just a creative business. Fast followed by 84% of millennials, 75% of Gen X, and I think baby boomers were north of 50% as well. So when I look at the overall segmentation in Canada as well, I think there's this paradigm shift that I keep talking about, and we're seeing it across everything. And I think one of the key decision points here, and we'll talk a little, maybe have the opportunity to talk about the opportunities and challenges. The decisions that are driving this shift. Can small business owners, can these content creator individuals confidently say that this profession is going to provide me the financial security? Can I rely on this source of income to
Right.
replace my quote unquote full-time job, for example? And that's where it'll be interesting to keep an eye on some of those stats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if you talk about micro businesses, they're often seen as a driving force for the next wave of small businesses in Canada. Can you elaborate on why micro businesses are gaining momentum, and what opportunities and challenges they present for the Canadian business ecosystem?
Yeah, and I'll always say micro businesses are the heart of our economy. As a region in Canada, we are so reliant on the force and the power that micro businesses bring to Canada. The biggest opportunity and trend shift that I've seen over the last 2.5 years has been access to technology. Given that you have such ease to get into the social media platforms, really expand and amplify the message of whoever you are, whatever product, service, technology that you're trying to reach to your end audience, access to payments, digital commerce. And I think this shift, and once again, these trends were very relevant even pre-COVID. What COVID did was really accelerate that paradigm shift. It brought to life, and it gave actually a time to pause and reflect as individuals. Hey, I have this side hustle, or I have this hobby that I'm super passionate about. Can I really explore that and making that a full-time job? Or can I really drive some revenue and monetize my interests? So I think this is where I'm seeing the micro businesses really fueling the next wave of taking advantage of the resources that are out there. And I think the shift will continue. We'll see a lot of individuals, and I hear this through my friends and families and colleagues as well. You could be a YouTube influencer, you have some content on Instagram, and you're really trying to see on, hey, what can I really take this, and how far can I take this?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Now it's great to hear that you have an agreement. That micro businesses are indeed a driving force for the next wave of small businesses in Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a short break, and we will be right back. our discussion on what makes micro businesses stand out and how they contribute to the growth and development of small businesses in Canada. Now, Nishant, as a small business lead for Mastercard Canada, can you provide some examples of specific ways in which Mastercard is supporting businesses in Canada? Are there any innovative products or programs or initiatives that have been developed to cater to the needs of small businesses?
No, great question. And I'll start with providing a little history, right? And Mastercard, especially in Canada, has had a long history of supporting small businesses. I think we understand the pillar that small businesses are to the Canadian economy, to our community, and I would say even a fabric of our culture. And I think from through product development and initiatives, we've definitely have a lot of resources out there. I'll start with easier access to capital, cash flow management tools, cybersecurity tools that we provide in the small and medium business segment. I'll be remiss if I don't mention our partners specifically. We work very closely with Digital Main Street, Startup Canada, Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses. And I always say it has to be an ecosystem of support. We can't do it all. So we have to partner with individuals and organizations who support small businesses on a daily basis. This is their bread and butter. And recently, I'll speak to, we launched last year the Mastercard and Peer 5 Small Business Fund, where we granted 5 women-owned small businesses $10,000 just for various reasons. And we had held a priceless event, which was catered for mentorship, some activities to really learn about their success stories and why they were highlighted in the whole campaign. And it was a great event to learn a little bit more. And I think it roots into the philosophy of small businesses are the backbone of the economy. And I think we've had a long commitment to support this segment, and we continue to do so in all our products and solutions.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, looking ahead, Nishant, what do you see as a future for small businesses in Canada, and how does Mastercard plan to continue supporting and empowering these businesses to thrive in the evolving business landscape?
Yeah. So I think from the next wave, we call it the wave, but it's here. The paradigm shift has already started. The next wave of small businesses, the creator class economy will continue to really flourish into the economy. And Mastercard has always been there. And one of the things that I would say that we do to really help this segment, and it starts with a needs-based approach. Whenever we go to market for any products or solution, and we've used this term, and I use this term internally as well, we don't truly believe if you build it, they'll come. Right. We have to listen to the needs of the small business owners, and specifically the creator class economy. What are some of the challenges? What are some of the opportunities? Where can we bring in other partners from the economy to really support this segment? And I think I go back to my catchphrase is this ecosystem of support. As long as we can come together and provide the necessary tools and resources for this next wave of small businesses, the creator class economy, I think the possibilities are endless. And I think the wave will continue, and we have to keep an eye on, because the transition is happening, and it's happening really fast.
Really fast. Yes, and lastly, Nishant, what are some key takeaways or lessons that small business owners and entrepreneurs in Canada can learn from Mastercard's research and initiatives to enhance their business strategies and operations?
Yeah, a great question. I think I'll lean on the previous question as well. Start with the problem. What are we trying to solve for? What is your target segment? And it's always value driven. I think a lot of consumers are really looking for that authentic content. And I'll lean on the creative economy class as well. And this is how we do business as well. It's a very needs-based approach. Everything is research driven. You're trying to solve a problem, really identify the needs and identify the opportunities. And one thing I would 100% tell the small business owners, and especially the content creators in the economy, is to find that ecosystem. Find your peers, find your mentors at an early stage as well. Really bounce off ideas, get feedback, almost have this infinite feedback loop. are my ideas working? Is my content resonating? This whole idea of adaptability. And I think what the social media platforms have done is really given you the opportunity to test that as well. This A/B testing from a product perspective as well. So you can really test, hey, is my message resonating? Can I reach my audience here? Can I make an impact? And reach out. I always say there's a ton of resources out there. Reach out to your partners, reach out to Mastercard, reach out to every other organization that is talking about small businesses. And I think, and I'll be the first one to say, it's not been easy. Small businesses have been impacted extremely over the last 2.5 years. There's a lot of resources out there, and I would encourage everyone to really lean on these very important pillars in the economy.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've provided us with the opportunity to, again, delve deeper into the trends and insights affecting small businesses in Canada. And, seeing your dedication and seeing you've spoken so much about small businesses today, it is truly inspiring and commendable. And we hope that our listeners, they have gained a deeper understanding of the challenges and opportunities facing small businesses in Canada. Thank you so much, Nishant, for your time
Thank
today.
you for having me. Great to be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of another episode packed with small business insights. We hope you've enjoyed listening to our podcast, and we encourage our listeners to explore more on CanadianSME.ca for further information. We would like to extend our gratitude to our exclusive partners, RBC, UPS, and Xero, for their unwavering support for this initiative. We invite our listeners to share the podcast with their peers and check out the other episodes on our website. Don't forget to subscribe to the Canadian SME Small Business Magazine and Indigenous SME Magazine to stay up to date on our upcoming events and gain access to top business insights from industry leaders. This is Maheen, your host for the Small Business Podcast.